Hello, and welcome to this edition of Fact or Fiction. I'm Stephanie Wright, and I'd like to introduce our expert in the seat today, Dr. Michael Jennings, founder of Personal Family Physicians. Welcome, Michael.
Well, thank you, Stephanie, and thank you all for joining us. We'll help you understand some of the conflicting and confusing information about health issues that you'll find in the popular media.
Great, and don't hesitate to send us an email because we welcome your questions and comments. And let's get started on today's topic. Some people have a hard time when winter comes. The shorter days, less sunshine, and gray skies, especially during the prolonged inversions, can really make all of our spirits sag. So is there really such a thing as seasonal affective disorder? Why are the dreary days of winter so difficult? And Dr. Jennings, what can we do to combat this problem?
Well, that's a very timely question, Stephanie, because winter is upon us. And yes, there is such a thing as the winter blues. Seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, is a type of depression. If you get depressed in winter but feel better by spring and summer, you may have SAD. It's more common in people who live where winter days are very short. Women are affected 3 times more often than men. SAD can run in families. Onset is typically in the 20s, and the risk of getting SAD for the first time decreases with age. SAD may be caused by a lack of sunlight, which may upset your sleep-wake cycle and other circadian rhythms. This may alter levels of serotonin, a neurotransmitter that affects mood. Symptoms come and go at about the same time each year, typically from autumn until spring. SAD may cause changes in mood and loss of interest in usual activities. You may crave more carbohydrates and gain weight. In spite of increased sleep, you might have daytime drowsiness and decreased energy. Mental focus can be poor. SAD sufferers may be emotionally sensitive and avoid socializing. There are several effective treatments for SAD. Special high-intensity lamps, about 10 to 20 times as bright as ordinary indoor lighting, are used to read or do other types of desk work for at least 30 minutes each morning. Light boxes mimic outdoor lighting. This is thought to cause a chemical change in the brain that improves mood and other SAD symptoms. The boxes are designed to filter out most UV light, which can cause eye and skin damage. They may use fluorescent, incandescent, or LED bulbs, and all appear to work equally well. Light therapy can also help sleep cycles, which may play a role in moods. Daily exercise, especially early in the morning, helps you feel more energetic and less depressed. Counseling can be very effective. Antidepressants can increase the effectiveness of other therapeutic measures. If you recognize a recurring pattern of winter blues, take measures before the onset of symptoms each fall. Continue treatments throughout the winter into the spring. Talk to your doctor if you're feeling seriously depressed. Wintertime doesn't have to break your spirits. You can take control of SAD.
Now it's time to select our viewer question of the week, and this viewer will receive a free 30-minute massage from our sponsor of this segment, Lisa D. Rossi with Hands of Change Massage. This viewer sends in, I eat when I'm hungry, I eat when I'm not hungry, I eat when I'm tired, I eat when I'm upset or stressed. Why do I eat for reasons other than hunger? Why is it so easy to overeat? And what can we do, Dr. Jennings, to help curb that appetite?
Well, we do eat for a lot of different reasons, and not just for nutrition. Dr. David Kessler researched this subject and wrote a book, The End of Overeating. According to his findings, it's all about dopamine, a neurotransmitter or chemical messenger of the brain. Dopamine focuses our attention and is associated with the brain's reward system. When we eat sugar, it causes a dopamine spike. Eating sugar and fat causes even more dopamine-driven brain activity. Because of our past experience with food, the brain's reward system anticipates dopamine activation from eating. It becomes self-reinforcing. Cues such as location, time of day, sights, smells, and other associations with food cause brain activation, including the amygdala, which stores memories of emotions. This arouses anticipation of reward and memories of past pleasures from eating. An awareness of desire for that reward leads to a desire for food as a prize, not as a nutrient. The food industry conducts research to find the most compelling combinations of sugar, fat, and salt. Even more complex combinations of sweet, fat, salt, texture, aroma, and temperature create a multi-sensory eating experience. Highly stimulating food becomes more reinforcing in the brain's reward centers and harder to resist. As if that's not enough to get us hooked, highly appealing emotional messages in advertising teach an association between eating and good times, companionship, and fun. Food becomes entertainment. We're not all equally vulnerable to overeating. Ask yourself these 3 questions. Do I lose control over highly palatable foods? Do I lack a feeling of fullness when I eat? Do I have a preoccupation with food? Obese people scored 2.5 times higher on these factors than normal weight individuals. Why? Because they have learned conditioned hypereating, eating for stimulation, not for nutrition. A child's appetite normally decreases after eating, but kids lose this ability to curb their appetite after years of overstimulation from excessive sugar, fat, and salt. The brain's reward circuits become stronger and override the normal satiety circuits. To succeed in taming conditioned hypereating, we must retrain the old circuits, just like kicking a smoking habit. Think of hypereating as the enemy, something you do not want, something you're going to avoid because it's harmful. Here are some helpful strategies. Plan ahead every meal and every snack. Practice eating appropriate-sized portions, not the heaping oversized platter served in many restaurants. Eat foods in their natural form, not hyperstimulating concoctions. Anticipate and rehearse how you will act when faced with tempting, unhealthy foods. Be aware of the emotional stressors and triggers of hypereating. Think of the downside, the negative aspects of unhealthy foods, the opposite of those glitzy advertising images. And yes, exercise is important. Even modest amounts of physical activity really do help. The food industry is very sophisticated in preparing and advertising unhealthy foods. Be aware, they are out to get you.
Congratulations to our winner, and you will be notified by email. And we ask that you keep those questions and comments coming. And that's all the time we have for this edition of Fact or Fiction.
We appreciate hearing from you. Email us your questions and comments.
And join us next time for another fun and informative look at current health issues. And remember, you can always view previous episodes on our website.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.